everybody, this is Craig from Temple Wind Flutes, and I wanted to take a moment today to talk to you about something that's really important to me, which is helping people connect to their musical heart. And in this video I want to talk more specifically about helping people look at and move through the fear that holds them back from expressing themselves musically. Culturally, we have certain beliefs around music, and specifically around who can play music and who can't. And there's this we have this mythical idea that there's a certain type of person that we call a musician that has training and talent, and they're able to play music. And for anyone else, it's not really their thing. And we have a lot of, cultural cues are more like really put downs that have become acceptable, that we say to people, not always to their face, when we think that they shouldn't express themselves. The classic being, don't quit your day job if someone is singing, or maybe their music doesn't appeal to you, or it's out of key or whatever. But what I want to talk about is that music belongs to you, and it belongs to everybody. And regardless of whatever a person's personal tastes are, that doesn't mean that what someone likes and someone doesn't like should prevent anyone from expressing themselves musically, because there's a million preferences and there's a million ways of expressing yourself, and not everyone is going to like it, and that shouldn't hold you back or hold anyone back from saying what needs to be said from your heart. Now, I've been making flutes for about 10 years now, and in that time I've had the opportunity to meet so many wonderful people. And in my early days, I spent a lot of time doing markets, and I would go out and set up my booth at farmers markets and craft fairs. And in that time, I got to meet, like I said, all kinds of people, but also a very specific type of person who would come up to the booth and tell me how much they love my work, and almost immediately would inform me very emphatically that they could not play music, which I found very interesting, that they would come up and inform a total stranger instantly that they could not play music. And often in conversation, they would develop their reasoning behind that, which almost invariably would involve usually a trusted person, like a family member or a friend, and unfortunately quite often a music teacher telling them that they had absolutely no business playing music or singing or expressing themselves musically. And what would happen is, either sometimes they'd just hang around, or they would leave and then they would come back, and they would leave and they would come back, and they would circle around, which to me indicated that there was an opportunity for me to try and see if we could get this person to express themselves a little bit. And if I was very gentle and very slow, I could maybe get this type of person to try a flute for the first time. And for me, that was always a magical moment, because what would happen is, with this particular sort of type of person, is when they would finally put a flute to their lips and play a note, even a sort of wispy, whatever kind of note for the first time, there would be an explosion of an emotional reaction, often astonishment or shock, often great joy, and more often than not, a release of grief. And it's just such a beautiful thing, because these people, full-grown adults, had been carrying around, all their adult lives, and often through a lot of their childhood, this idea that they could not play music, and that music did not belong to them. And if this is resonant for you right now, I just want to reassure you that music belongs to you, and it belongs to everybody. And we all have a right, and we all have it in us to play music. It's the sound vibration makes up everything, and so if everything is made up of sound vibration, how could you not be able to make music. What we need to do is separate the idea between the desire and the ability to play music and other people's preferences, because people will project their ideas upon you on what music should be like and what music should sound like. And what I try to encourage people to do is to separate out other people's opinions first and just focus on what makes your heart sing, what makes your heart come alive, what does your heart have to say in music. And that could appeal to tons of people. That's such a wonderful bonus if the music you want to make lights up other people. It might not appeal to anybody at all. I've been informed by many people that my music is quite boring. It's too slow or it's too dark. And that's okay. That's something I have to live with. Sometimes that's been easier to take than others. But it's what makes me come alive. The sound that I have to express is what makes me come alive. And I trust that for my own health, that's what I need to do. And I'm also very fortunate that I do touch people with my music, and it's just the most wonderful thing. However, the most important thing is that I keep making music because it makes everything inside me jump up and live. And so I want to encourage you to do that, to try and find a way to just, in the privacy of your own home to start, to just make sound. And whether that's with an instrument or with your voice or with a drum or a guitar or whatever, to see what wants to come through you and try to lean into any judgments or resistances that may come up, and they probably will. But to just find a way to lean into it and to make music anyway. And I'm going to talk in future videos about how to lean into that process in a way that's very gentle. And over time, those inner critics, the voices of your inner critic, will start to melt away, and the joy and the beauty of expressing yourself is going to rise up. Yes, that's in a future video. And for now, please, if you enjoyed this video, please like and share. And yeah, thanks so much.